fun, man. It's like an objective. It actually feels scary because you're like in a room with like 10 of your homies and you're like, there's like 1,000 zombies outside and you're like, I just shit myself. Well, okay, that was weird. I'm gonna cut that out.
Hey everyone, Thordan Smash here, and we're less than a week away from the launch of Season 18, but there's still a ton of mystery revolving around Revenant Reborn. We have a good idea of what he's basically going to work like, but today we're going to go over some stuff that you probably haven't heard before and what they have planned for the Halloween mode coming along with him. We're also going to give out 45 bucks. All you gotta do is like, comment, subscribe. You guys know the drill, but without further ado, let's talk about Revenant Reborn. So there has been a lot of mystery surrounding Revenant Reborn. We finally got our first look at him with the new trailer the other day, but overall, his abilities have been a little confusing overall. Now, there was this put out not too long ago with the Shadow Form, Shadow Dash, and Ultimate abilities, and as you can see here, the Shadow Form allows him to see enemies when their health is lower than 40, basically being a scan, and the Shadow Dash allows him to perform a dash of 20 meters without positioning, and you can actually do a second dash with this, which, according to iLoot Games and other sources, seem to still be the basic passive and tactical he's going to come with. Now, the Ultimate at the time was set down the totem, knock down or kill enemies with the totem's area of effect, and it will restore health and armor. However, at the time of this, it doesn't look like that's going to be the same case anymore. And I want to be very clear about this. When this was put out, it did say at the very bottom, maybe more changes, just the latest I have, because you know, they have play testers and QA testers and they see what works best in the game. iLoot Games did just release a video last night going over what he said was going to be the ultimate ability for Revenant Reborn, and it is called Forged Shadows, which supposedly will put out a bunch of shadow forms around you, protect you, but if you get a knock in this form, it actually brings back a tactical and also recharges your ultimate a little bit as well. But we'll have to wait and see if that's actually confirmed this morning with the It's Timmy live stream, where he will actually be showcasing in first person the actual new changes to Revenant, which does go live at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. iLoot did also mention that the previous passive and tactical are pretty much the same as listed in the patch notes. But I think Senos, a data miner, actually has a pretty good idea, and I think it's going to incorporate his ghostly shadow form as we saw in the trailer, and it will probably have something to do with stealth or devil jumping, something along those lines. But there's something that has left a lot of fans very confused, because there was something in the game files found for a seismic prison, a grenade rev shell, a shadow duel, and a shadow form, and this was actually found in the game files, and it was one of Revenant's early leaked abilities. But I did get some new information. I think we actually now know what that is about. You see, this season we're getting the Halloween mode, and it's going to be taking place on the Kings Canyon map, Olympus map, and World's Edge map, and Kralrindo showed us a little bit of the skybox there with some new planets and stars, and from what someone had let me know from an inside source is that ultimate one-on-one ability is actually planned for this upcoming Halloween mode, which actually makes a ton of sense why it was found in the game files along with all the Halloween stuff, and why it was an early testing of Revenant's abilities. They were setting it up for the Halloween setup. And Hyperbus actually showed us some of the banner cards for the Haunting of Kings Canyon, the Plague of Olympus, and World's Edge Burns, which is interesting because there's no storm point in there whatsoever, even though it's been teased heavily as getting some map updates, which makes me think once again that storm point might not be coming in, because why would you do a new Halloween mode and not include your brand new map you created? But the biggest part about that is in the bottom right corner, it actually says Shadowfall Productions. And for those that don't know, we usually get Shadow Royale, which is Battle Royale, where if you die, you get turned into a zombie and you still try to win a Battle Royale map. Shadowfall was the original Halloween mode when we first got introduced to Revenant. And in it, the 60 legends compete against each other, and if you die, you actually become a zombie Revenant Shadow, and then you have to hunt down the last 10 survivors who have not died yet, and they have to make it to a dropship. This was one of the best game modes Apex Legends, in my opinion, has ever come out with, and due to the fact that Shadowfall is referenced in the title cards, makes me think that we might actually get a shot at this. Obviously, there's going to be some changes if Revenant's new abilities come into play, such as that Seismic Prison and Grenade Rev Shell, and the Shadow Duel and Shadow Form, but I would imagine that if they're going to bring it back after, what, like 14 seasons, that there are going to be some changes to it. Overall, though, the Halloween modes typically are the best ones in the game, but that's also just my personal opinion. In regards to Revenant's new design, it does seem kind of mixed. I don't think it looks that much better here than the actual original design. I also think the teeth look a little bit weird. It's like 3 giant teeth. He's got a hood, but I think he looked a lot more menacing with the bandana, but that could just be also, once again, my personal opinion. Do keep in mind that this season, all of us are going to get Revenant unlocked if you have not already, and you'll be able to play him all season, and before the season ends, there will be quests. If you had not already unlocked Revenant in the game, you will be able to keep him permanently. We have some other small things looking forward to this season, such as the new rank system, which we don't have that much information on, along with the Project Railgun charge rifle, which we do actually have a lot of information. It's no longer hit scan, is a one-shot kill. But something that's very interesting that we talked about in yesterday's video was the fact that there doesn't seem to be a thorough thought process on if we're getting the Storm Points map update right away. But one thing I do know is that there are 4 builds of the game being worked on right now, and two of them are for the Xbox and PS5, and they're both running at 120 frames per second. So I do think the next gen update is coming fairly soon, but something that seems to be limiting it is that the Xbox Series S is not able to run 120, at least not yet from my understanding, and that when they get that all set and ready to go, that's when we can be expecting the next gen update. But once again, nothing is ever confirmed until Respawn actually shows us and it's put in the game, so always keep that in mind before coming to a conclusion. Let me know down below, are you guys excited for this new legend coming to the game? What do you think about that one-on-one ability for the Halloween mode? Do you think it'll function well? And don't forget to check out the second channel by my editor Novell right here if you guys want a lot more great Apex Legends content. And until next time, Legends, keep slaying the aliens. I'll see you out there.